So, hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now, in today's video, we're going to be doing part 3 for what if Naruto had infinite chakra. Now, for my 50 sub special, I'm probably going to be doing what if Naruto had solo leveling, but that's going to be when I finish this series first, of course. So yeah, it's not going to be a full series. It's not going to be a one-shot, it's going to be a full series. So be sure to look out for that. But with that, let's get started. Oh, just editor me here. Sorry if the audio quality at the beginning of the video sounds a little bad. I'm pretty sure it gets fixed later on. So if you don't remember and you didn't watch part 2, which you should, and if you didn't watch that part 1, you should watch part 1 too. Basically, Naruto and Team 7 just came back from the Land of Waves. And basically they told Hiruzen how that was definitely not a C rank mission and it was way higher, and how they beat Zabuza Momochi, Demon of the Mist himself. So Hiruzen had no other choice but to pay them, what they deserved, I guess. And he did apologize for sending them on a mission that wasn't as easy as they said it would be. But Naruto and Sasuke thanked him because it was fun to have a challenge. They wanted something harder, so they got something harder. Anyways, the next day, Kakashi calls all of Team 7 in because he has an announcement. So basically what's going on is Kakashi tells Team 7 about the Chunin exams and asks them if they want to participate. And of course, all of Team 7 agrees because, the Chunin exams is something that they all want to participate in. Now, so what happens is, before the Chunin exams begins, Kakashi decides to have a little bit of, training with Naruto. So, Kakashi activates his Sharingan and looks at Naruto, looking at the chakra flowing through him, because although he doesn't have a Byakugan, so he can't see his chakra points, he can see chakra with his Sharingan. So he tries to kind of look at Naruto, and he sees that there's way too much chakra inside him, and it's actually so much that it's bad for Naruto. The amount of chakra that Naruto has within him is actually not healthy for him, and his body can't handle it, which is actually making him weaker than what he could be. And so Kakashi says, do you feel tension inside whenever you use chakra, whenever you try to use some chakra moves? Do you feel a sort of tension, a sort of pain, an aching of sorts? And Naruto's yeah, I guess so. I do. And Kakashi says, okay, well, try to use a jutsu and look for that pain. And so Naruto just uses one of the things he does, he does a super chakra punch, and he feels in his arms and all throughout his body this he's really tensed up whenever he uses it, and he feels that, and he notices it he actually notices it for the first time, and he's yeah, Kakashi sensei, why is that? And Kakashi is okay, now this time try to concentrate and find the points of tension and release those areas. Try to release everything inside of there and relax them. And Naruto doesn't quite understand what to do, because Naruto doesn't even know what Kakashi's talking about. But basically what he's saying is the chakra level that Naruto has is it's causing chakra swelling, I guess, in Naruto's, chakra points. And so what Kakashi wants him to do is release all that excess chakra in his chakra points. And this isn't going to decrease his amount of chakra, because infinity minus 3, for example, is still infinity. So he's still going to have infinite chakra, but, this is just going to be good for him. So Naruto tries it again, trying to concentrate chakra into his fist, and he notices the tension, tries to pinpoint the area it's coming from, and just tries to release it and relax that area. And suddenly, it happens. A huge burst of energy, almost like the one that had happened when he had covered his entire body with, chakra, the chakra explosion thing. There was just a huge burst of energy, but this time it wasn't aggressive. It was like, when you pop something and the gas just goes out slowly, almost like a balloon that's held in place where the air goes out like psh, and it just comes out. And that's what it was like. Not just the chakra just sizzled out of Naruto, and it went away in a way that wasn't an explosion. It wasn't aggressive at all. And suddenly, Naruto felt so much stronger. A certain type of ease had fallen over his body. I mean, imagine fighting your whole life with heavy weights on your entire body, and a knife stuck in your forearm. Imagine taking that out for the first time in your life and fighting normally. It was an amazing sensation. Just that alone had given Naruto an incredible chakra boost. It was just insane. He was, not chakra boost, but he was so much stronger and faster. He just, jumped around and, looked at how it felt. It was amazing. He felt so much lighter now. And he was like, "Thanks, Kakashi-sensei, this really helped." And so Kakashi said, "Glad to hear I could help out." As Naruto ran all the way back to his house in no time. He was so fast now. He was OP. At this point, with all the chakra tension out of his body, it's just, he's incredibly fast and light, and he just zips around wherever he wants to go. So, he's ready for the Chunin exams. He's more than ready. Anyways, the next day, Team 7 gets together and starts heading for the Chunin exams. Of course, when they enter, they see the Genjutsu, and Sasuke, noticing this, tells Team 7 to just go upstairs because it's clearly a Genjutsu. Now, when Sasuke and Team 7 head upstairs, they encounter Rock Lee just like in the original. Now, Sasuke still did get Rookie of the Year because, Naruto might have beaten Sasuke in the spar, but Sasuke was still better than Naruto in all the other categories that they assessed when deciding Rookie of the Year. So, Rock Lee challenges Sasuke, not Naruto. Keep that in mind. And so basically, Sasuke in this one is okay, you know what, fine. But Naruto just tells him to decline and that they don't really have time for it. And Sasuke is you know what, you're right, Naruto. For once in your life, you're actually right. So Sasuke decides to listen to Naruto, and they just head off to the first stage of the Chunin exams. Now, sorry for any background noise. There's really not much I can do about it. Everyone in my house is being a little loud, so I'm currently recording this inside of my closet. So sorry for any background noise. And any cutting because my little brother enters the room or something. Sorry for any of that. Anyways, the first stage of the Chunin exams really doesn't change at all. Naruto's chakra source does not give him an advantage in the first stage of the Chunin exams, and he really doesn't get any of the questions right. Out of the 9 questions, he's able to answer none of them, and this really kind of freaks him out. But he's I still have one more question. When they give the 10th question, maybe I'll be able to answer it. And so Ibiki announces the 10th question, and of course Naruto stays Like, he does what he does in the original. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. I worked so hard for this Chunin exam. I don't care if this gets me barred from ever taking the Chunin exam again. I'm doing this. So, of course, he does it. And Ibiki reveals that it was just a test to see if you had enough mental strength, I guess? I don't know. Whatever the test was about. And so, Team 7 passes as Anko flies in through the window, announcing that it was time for the second stage of the Chunin exams, and that they were to meet her at the Forest of Death ASAP to sign up to die. Well, sort of. And so Team 7 filled out all the forms saying that it's okay if they die during this thing. You know, all of that boring stuff. And they just got their scroll and head into the forest. So nothing really changes for the first part until Orochimaru comes. And, you know, Naruto heads off, and when the snake comes for Naruto and eats Naruto whole, Naruto doesn't even have to use his Shadow Clone Jutsu. He just uses a chakra explosion again to make his way out of there. But it's a little different with Sasuke and Sakura, because that goes the same with Orochimaru coming and going, Sasuke. And so they start getting into a battle, but Sasuke really doesn't stand a chance. And Sakura isn't really helping at all. Anyways, she's more of a nuisance because Sasuke just has to protect Sakura. So, you know, Sakura's not doing much. And Sasuke's not having a good time. He is being destroyed by Orochimaru. He doesn't stand a chance against one of the 3 legendary Sannin. That is, of course, until Naruto comes. Orochimaru was about to, heavily injure Sasuke with one of his huge snake attacks when Naruto stopped the attack with one hand, just like he did in the original, where he stops it with one hand and smirks at Sasuke and says, are you hurt, kid? Like, I'm pretty sure that's what he says. But he does that scene, and Sasuke gets mad. And now they're together. And Sasuke awakens his Sharingan. And let's just say he has 2 Tomoe, because I'm the writer of the story, and I decide how many Tomoe he has on his Sharingan as he starts fighting Orochimaru with Naruto helping him out as well. And Orochimaru's like, yes, show your Sharingan. I want to see it in action. And Sasuke does what he does in the original, where he combos Orochimaru with the wires and everything and completely melts his face off, revealing the real Orochimaru, because Orochimaru was using a disguise, as you might remember. So Orochimaru gets his face melted off and reveals his real face. So yeah, that happens. Anyways, Orochimaru stops holding back at this point. He's like, you know what? I feel like it's time. As he extends his neck, turning it into this long, white, scaly thing, and dashes at Sasuke, trying to put the curse mark on Sasuke's neck. But Naruto has other plans, as using his newfound powers, he hasn't done much during this fight. He completely just goes full speed at Orochimaru, and Naruto, with his new strength, can move at like blinding speeds. He is super fast, and he just charges up an incredible amount of chakra into his fist, and basically punches Orochimaru's head off. Of course, he doesn't really kill Orochimaru, but this punch is so OP, especially with Naruto's new strength boost that just made him really OP. Naruto is he just sends Orochimaru flying. Now, Naruto still isn't stronger than Orochimaru, so Naruto picks up Sakura, and Naruto and Sasuke start running. Of course, it's kind of difficult to outrun Orochimaru. Orochimaru is one of the Sannin, but after also picking up Sasuke, because he's strong, he's faster, he's way faster than Sasuke too, Naruto goes full speed, using a chakra explosion to knock Orochimaru back while flinging himself forward. And Naruto was able to make it into the central building just in time. But he realizes they don't have a scroll. So he makes clones of Team 7, and he transforms them so that they look like Team 7, and so he leaves the clones in the building while Team 7 escapes from another entrance. Now, as Team 7 escapes, they're looking for a scroll, and they find that the people that they find in the original, those like 3 annoying people with the black goo, I guess. I think that's what it was. When Kabuto helped them get, kill those guys. Basically that, and it's an easy win at this point. Naruto with his infinite chakra and Sasuke with his two tomoe, those guys don't even stand a chance. Team 7 doesn't need Kabuto, and once they've gotten the scroll, they quickly come back because they're pretty close to the central tower at this point, and they finish the second stage. Now, Orochimaru hasn't given up on Sasuke this quick. He is still gonna follow through with his plan, probably, but just not right now. Anyways, the Hokage announces that there's gonna be preliminaries because the Genin were just too good, and too many of them were about to pass. So why not preliminaries? Because that's a great idea. Anyways, preliminaries go very similar to the original. Every battle goes exactly the same, except for Sasuke's and Naruto's. Now, Sasuke just destroys the chakra absorbing guy because, well, I mean, like, he doesn't even have the curse mark, and if Sasuke could beat that guy with only taijutsu, then he can easily destroy him without the curse mark. So, yeah, that happens. And Naruto versus Kiba changes in an obvious way. So what happens is Kiba and Akamaru get in, and they're like, "Hey Naruto, I'm gonna beat you this time." And Kiba's thinking, what better way to prove how much stronger I've become as a ninja? I mean, I've been working so hard over all this time, and finally I can beat Naruto and prove my worth. But Naruto has other plans for Kiba. As Kiba rushes in with Fang over Fang, Naruto just charges a bunch of chakra into his hand, and he becomes a one-punch man, and he just does like one serious punch into Kiba's Fang over Fang, and there's like an incredible explosion. Imagine, you know how in One Punch Man, if you watched it, Saitama almost punched Genos, but then stopped halfway, and the like explosion sent like the impact, like not impact, but like the fist literally sent the air like around it flying and made this impact. I can't explain it. He basically does that to Kiba, and just the explosion from the punch makes a huge crater in the ground. So Kiba gets knocked out. So yeah, Naruto wins immediately. That really wasn't too much of a difficulty, but now he has 1 month to train, and this is when he's gonna unlock his most OP power. So during this 1 month training period, he decides to go to the hot springs and take a break, which is when he finds Jiraiya, the legendary Sannin. Now, Jiraiya recognizes Naruto, and Naruto's like, "Who are you?" And Jiraiya's like, "I am Jiraiya, one of the 3 legendary Sannin. I am the famous Toad Sage. And Naruto's like, really? Because I don't believe you. And Jiraiya was like, how do you not believe me? I am clearly extremely powerful and handsome. And Naruto was like, okay, if you can beat me in a spar, I'll believe you. And Jiraiya's immediately like, what is this kid up to? Like, he shouldn't be able to beat me at this current stage. If he really thinks he can beat me, he must have some sort of trick up his sleeve. What is he planning? So Jiraiya agrees, assuming that there's no way that he could really lose to Naruto. So, that happens. And they head over to the forest to fight, where Jiraiya starts by holding back. But after Naruto starts punching him with his mega boosted, chakra boosted abilities, Jiraiya doesn't really stand a chance while he's holding back. So Jiraiya starts going full power, not full power because he's not using the Sage mode or Toad summoning or anything, but he's going full power in his base mode, I guess. And this is when Naruto starts to lose, because we're talking 3 Sannin right here, Jiraiya himself, and Naruto isn't quite that strong. He might have a lot of chakra, but just some enhanced speed, punching, and kicking isn't going to beat one of the 3 Sannin. So anyways, Naruto is being beat up badly, so he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to use my ultimate move, as he uses his chakra aura. And, this is currently his strongest move. It is this move is basically very similar to his one-tail cloak state. But, as you might have guessed, Naruto's one-tail or two-tail cloak, for that matter, would not be really enough to beat Jiraiya. And Naruto is actually doing really well against Jiraiya. I mean, it is a close battle, as Naruto uses taijutsu and every sort of chakra move in his entire arsenal. But Jiraiya is just, Jiraiya always has the upper hand in this battle. And eventually, Naruto collapses after being punched way too many times. But Jiraiya notices something. Naruto, although he did collapse from, being beat up very bad, he doesn't seem to have exhausted his chakra at all, even after using that incredible chakra cloak that must have taken up an incredibly high amount of chakra, which is probably why no other shinobi ever attempts to do it. Even trying to maintain something like that for 10 seconds would totally drain you of all of your chakra. So, how did Naruto do it? Later in the hospital, when Naruto wakes up, he sees Jiraiya sitting by his side. And he's like, Jiraiya? And Jiraiya's like, oh wow, you're awake. That was fast. We almost just got here. And Naruto was like, well, I don't know. I usually recover pretty quickly. And Jiraiya just assumed that this was the doing of the Nine-Tails chakra within him, even though that probably shouldn't have been enough, but that's just his best guess. And then Jiraiya asks Naruto what that move he did earlier was, and Naruto just said that he released all of his chakra to create an aura around himself. Now, this surprised Jiraiya even more, because he expected some sort of trick to the jutsu where, it didn't cost as much chakra as it seemed to, but there was no trick. It was just straight up Naruto's infinite reserve of chakra at play. So Jiraiya decided to do some experimenting, and he did a bunch of training with Naruto, teaching him new jutsu and stuff. But as a final test to see if his theory was correct, he taught Naruto the toad summoning jutsu and told him to try and summon a toad. And on his first attempt, Naruto summoned Gamabunta, which does make sense, because in the original, if he was able to summon it with a bit of the Ninetales influence, not influence, but like chakra, then in this version with infinite chakra, he should be able to easily do it every time. Anyways, after seeing this, Jiraiya knows for sure. And together, for the next month of training, Jiraiya and Naruto work together, as Jiraiya teaches him a brand new form of his special technique. This will make Naruto like 1,000,000,000 times stronger. So definitely be sure to watch out for that. I'm not sure I'll introduce it in this part, but probably in part 4. So yeah. Now, during the final stage of the Chunin exams, Naruto actually doesn't have to use his new form to defeat Neji. With Neji's fight, Neji, does his whole speech about destiny again, but nothing else really changes. I mean, in the beginning, Naruto just uses clones to attack him, but that doesn't work. So Neji tries to use his whole 64 palms thing and his Hyuga fighting style, but Naruto's just too fast for Neji to keep up with. And Naruto straight up does what he did in the original, where he got QB influence chakra and he used that to defeat Neji. Naruto just does that from the start and just uppercuts Neji, and Neji is knocked out. There's really nothing too difficult about fighting Neji. After fighting Kakashi, Zabuza, Jiraiya, and Orochimaru, to be honest, Neji was more like target practice. Anyways, everything else goes the same, including Sasuke's fight. Sasuke, once again, learns the Chidori after his training with Kakashi. And Kakashi, so Kakashi does teach him the Chidori, and Sasuke ends up using the Chidori to try and kill Gaara. Now, he does hit Gaara, but Gaara doesn't die, as he runs off to transform. But this time, Naruto is hot on his tail, and he's not late to the scene, as out in the forest, Gaara ends up transforming, and Naruto is already there, prepared. Meanwhile, all the other shinobi who were preparing an ambush weren't prepared for the quick, it was so sudden the way Gaara, went away. It was just not part of the plan, so they were confused, but eventually they were able to get the sleeping spell on everybody, get the genjutsu or whatever, and so yeah, the Konoha Crush had begun. Meanwhile, Orochimaru decided to go and attack Hiruzen. Yes, so we have the fight between Orochimaru and Hiruzen happening, while Naruto and the rest of Team 7, excluding Kakashi, because Kakashi doesn't come with them, go to hunt Gaara. Now, Kakashi and Guy are taking care of all the other ninjas who were there, like the intruders, so that's being taken care of, because we all know that Kakashi and Guy are very capable, and they can easily do that. Meanwhile, with the fight between Naruto and Gaara, it goes pretty similar to the canon, to the canon version of this fight. Now, Naruto creates a bunch of shadow clones seeing Gaara, and Gaara is currently in his half-transformed state, as he swipes at all the Naruto clones, attacking him left, right, and center. Naruto manages to get in some hits. After all, he is constantly producing more and more and more clones, using his infinite chakra, paired with the clones, it's just an OP combination due to the fact that he can hypothetically make infinite clones. So, theoretically, he can make infinite amounts of clones with his infinite chakra. So Naruto just keeps barraging Gaara with clones, but it becomes clear pretty fast that that's not gonna do all the damage he wants. With that, Naruto decides to use his chakra aura form, I guess. I don't really have a name for it, but it's not gonna need a name because Naruto is gonna stop using that in the next part because he has a way much more OP ability up his sleeve that he doesn't think it's time to use yet because Gaara is just not worth spending it on. Yeah, that's just how OP it is. Now with this form, Naruto can basically destroy half-transformed Gaara and also Gaara when he's fully transformed until, he becomes fully Shikaku and falls asleep. Afterwards, Naruto summons Gamabunta because why not? And with that, the fight begins. And this goes very similar to the original with the way Gamabunta and, the One Tails fight. And afterwards, Naruto doesn't even have to transform Gamabunta into the Nine Tails. He just does one of his insane chakra leaps all the way from Gamabunta's head over to the One Tails and just headbutts Gaara, waking him up. And then he also uses his Talk no Jutsu. So yeah, that's all for Gaara's story, I guess. Meanwhile, the whole thing with Hiruzen and Orochimaru goes the same, with Hiruzen unfortunately ending up dead, and Orochimaru with his arms sealed away. And, I feel like that's where I'm gonna end it, at the end of the Konoha Crush. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subs by the end of this month, maybe. I don't know. I really don't have my goals set really well. But please do subscribe. It means a lot. If you have a second account, subscribe from there too. And yeah, see you next time.